everyone. Today I'll be talking about The Menu, a dark comedy thriller that critiques modern food culture in some really surprising and disturbing ways. The film follows a group of wealthy foodies who are invited to a secluded island for an exclusive tasting menu by a renowned chef, Julian Slowik. But this isn't just a dinner, it's a carefully crafted experience with a sinister twist. By the end of the night, every guest is supposed to die. Our main character, Margot, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, isn't supposed to be there. She's a last-minute guest and becomes the outsider among these elite diners. As the meal unfolds, the chef's true intentions are revealed and the evening turns into a brutal satire about food, power, and privilege. In The Menu, food symbolizes art, obsession, and ultimately a weapon of sorts. Each course is more than just a dish. It sends a message, often aimed at revealing the flaws or the sins of the guests. Things like arrogance, infidelity, greed, and the inability to appreciate joy. Chef Slowik is portrayed as both a genius and a prisoner of the fine dining world. He's lost his passion because food has become more about performance than pleasure. Margot, being from a working-class background, becomes our lens into this world. She sees through the pretense and exposes just how absurd and hollow this elite food culture really is. This film draws on deeper social ideas, especially around food as a symbol of class and control. Food isn't neutral. It shows who has power, who has access, and who's left out. The exclusive tasting menu in the film is for the elites who don't even appreciate it. It's not about the food, it's about the status. The guests have commodified food. They treat it like a trophy, not something meaningful. And the chef uses this moment, this dinner, as a way to flip the power dynamic. He controls every bite, every moment, and eventually every life. This ties into what Gina May was talking about when she says, food is culture, food is identity. In The Menu, we see that idea flipped and challenged. The culture is fake, the identity is performative, and the chef reclaims his power through the control of the meal. The film also dives into how food reflects identity and how that identity can be lost when food becomes disconnected from its roots. Margot sees through the smoke and mirrors, literally. She's not impressed by the foam or the theatrics of the meal. She wants something real. And it's in that moment when she asks for a simple cheeseburger that the chef reconnects with the joy of cooking. Not for the critics, not for the customers, but for someone who just wants to eat. That cheeseburger represents a return to authenticity for both her and the chef. It's honest, unpretentious, and nostalgic. It reminds him why he started cooking in the first place. To wrap it up, The Menu is really effective because it doesn't just criticize the world of fine dining. It uses it as a metaphor for larger issues. It's not just about food, it's about how systems that are supposed to bring joy and creativity, like the culinary arts, get twisted by money and power. The chef's journey mirrors the experience of many artists who start out with passion and purposes, but end up feeling trapped by the expectations of the elite. He's become a performer for the wealthy, not a creator of meaningful experiences. That's a powerful commentary on how passions can be stripped of authenticity when it's constantly being sold and rated and reviewed. Margot's presence is key because she doesn't belong to that world and she doesn't want to. She sees the absurdity in the way these people treat food, and by the end, she's the only one who survives. Not because she's the smartest or strongest, but because she's the most honest. She reminds the chef of what food should be: simple, human, and joyful. And that's one of the most interesting things about the film. It doesn't just destroy the concept of fine dining as a whole, it reminds us of what we've lost. Food used to be about connection, comfort, and culture. Now it's become performative, like a status symbol. That ties into a key idea from the anthropology of food and eating. Food serves both to solidify group membership and to set groups apart. In The Menu, we see that play out literally. Those who belong in the fine dining world are there to consume, perform, and be judged. Margot, who doesn't belong, becomes the only one who truly sees the emptiness of it all, and ultimately, she's the only one who escapes. The film forces us to ask, when did food stop being about people and start being about power? It's a question that connects directly to the themes of this class. How culture, identity, and social structures show up in the things we eat and the way we eat them. In the end, The Menu uses food to do what great storytelling does. It holds up a mirror to society. And what it shows us is disturbing, but also necessary because it pushes us to think critically about the roles we all play, not just as eaters, but as participants in the culture. I would absolutely recommend watching The Menu to anyone interested in the darker, more critical side of food culture. The Menu is unsettling and surprisingly layered. It doesn't just entertain you, it forces you to think. It's a film that sticks with you because it holds nothing back in its critique of elitism, consumer culture, and how passion is so often corrupted by power. It forces you to reflect on the way food has become performative and exclusionary rather than something shared or meaningful. So yes, I'd highly recommend watching The Menu. Just don't watch it on an empty stomach. Or on second thought, maybe you should.